It's time for On the Record. Tonight we're joined by the ANC's head of elections, Fikile Mbalula. Let's pick up from where we left off. We were talking before the break about the VBS saga, senior ANC leaders being fingered in there. But in particular, a municipality is now broke, lost 300 million rand that was deposited illegally. Now, surely as somebody who's going to go before voters in the coming several months, that's the kind of thing that surely must bother you, was my question.
Yes, we need to applaud the South African Reserve Bank. When everybody was making a lot of noise about this matter and being populist about it, they remained firm. And we supported as the ANC in terms of our statement, the curatorship, to say that curating the bank does not mean that you're bringing it down. Basically, you are nursing it to its health status. We have arrived today, the report has come up, and we applaud this particular report because now the debt has come out. Action must follow.
So what action will you be taking against the deputy chair in Limpopo? The
action that will follow is that is implicated, will be examined to what extent. And then the party structures that deal with issues of discipline are dealing with the issue, the provincial leadership, and he will be taken to task. And should he be found on the wrongdoing, definitely heads will roll, and that is what the ANC says.
I mean, the report says, for example, at one point she was begging for a Christmas, basically arguing at some point that her juniors had been given more money than she was. I mean, how do you respond to that sort of thing?
Well, if you look at that, from what it is reported, it is really an unethical conduct in this particular instance. So we may want to see action taken right now, all the way, but for the fact that this has been unraveled and the debt have been brought, and those people who are implicated, whether they are members of the ANC or not, they did not do those things on behalf of the ANC.
Yesterday, of course, was a land summit, and the land debate continues to rage in South Africa. There's been a debate even within the ANC about the tone, the tone that the land discussion is taking. What are your reflections on some of the documents that have emerged, including, of course, comments leaked supposedly by the former president, Thabo Mbeki?
Look, I don't want to talk about what President Mbeki raises about the Freedom Charter and so on, because it's a matter of debate. It's a question of discourse of where you stand on these issues, and it's healthy. What is important is that we've got a Congress resolution that we're implementing, and that's what is important before us now. In improving that Congress resolution, in making it a decision that is acceptable through a process of public discourse, I don't think we must be allergic to that. What former president says, we shouldn't be allergic to that. I think we must take it as part and parcel of the overall debate, which I think stalwarts of the ANC and many organic intellectuals have responded to him accordingly. So the debate goes on. This thing of just suffocating people because they raise a different perspective and without even understanding them, that's not the culture of the ANC.
He's also, though, spoken about it not being the culture of the ANC to create polarization around an issue. And he said that the ANC's historical mission has always been to unite South Africa, and the tone of this debate isn't doing so.
He may say that, but we'll remind him quickly that his own assertion of two nations within one polarized this nation, where South Africans, well-known historians, Afrikaners and all of that said that is mad. He has actually deranged. And we said, no, let's debate. Indeed, South Africa is two nations within one. And when we confront the issue today of land itself, it's not about we are deranged and we are departing from our past. We are saying 24 years. Does the land reform policy that we've been implementing, willing seller, willing buyer, assisted us to distribute, to redistribute land? We say no. That is why we're putting measures from our conference to redistribute, not to nationalize, because everybody has got a stake in the land redistribution program. We want farmers to expand. We want black farmers to be on board. We don't want anybody to go to Australia, but that 13%, 70% of people who have been dispossessed must come to the party and own land. It is your choice. If you want to own land, but equally you want land to live, to settle.
Land is obviously an issue. Obviously corruption remains an issue, and the Auditor General is all but pulling his hair out in terms of just the growing amount. I mean, every year, in terms of fruitful, wasteful, irregular expenditure, that amount just keeps climbing up. We're now at 50 billion. What's being done to arrest that?
It is not only worrisome, it is alarming, the Minister of Gupta have announced measures which have been supported by the party in terms of how we are going to arrest this in the turnaround strategy. First, it is the question of managers, and to ensure that we are firm in terms of closing manager positions in the municipalities. Because this fruitless expenditure happened because of exchange of people and leadership. Section 59 managers in the municipalities that are actually appointed from time to time, leaving the post vacant. That also become a challenge for us at local government and affect questions of expenditure.
Right, so you're going out to canvass opinions and thoughts on your manifesto. I think you've got a real tough one on your hands. South Africans are going to be asking you as a party some tough questions. But we thank you for popping into the studio. No doubt in the coming months, you and I will chat more and more as that election builds up.
Thank you very much.
All right.